Nobody wakes up in the morning thinking, I'm going to go to A&E today. Nobody knows. Nobody knows who it's going to be.
Paediatric trauma call, 15 minutes.
Code red, helipad response.
You're having a heart attack.
We want to be in and out of scan in the next 10 minutes.
I can't feel any pulse.
Any reception, can I help you? Yeah, 24 hours, 7 days a week. I love that question. What's your opening hours?
St George's, London, one of the busiest and most advanced A&E departments in the world.
Beautiful. It's as if we've done it before.
We are there when awful things happen to pick up the pieces.
We have a 2-year-old who was kicked by the horse.
We see the unpredictableness of what happens in life, and we're suddenly having to explain why it's gone wrong.
I can't feel my left leg.
You'll be okay.
A place where life
Amy, selfie!
Down below. Too slow.
love
Such a good boy. So proud of you.
and loss
I'm still here.
unfold every single day.
So we don't shake hands at this hospital, we fist bump. Can I have a fist bump?
All the patients you're about to see were treated in just one 24-hour period.
Hello, darling.
You genuinely do see the best of people in this job. You'll see strangers rushing to the aid of someone they've never met. You just see things that make you realise just how important the people in your life are and the people around you are.
Amy, can I help? We called earlier on about the hot air blowing through the vents. Is anybody onto this?
I'm hot, plus I'm getting hot flashes on top of my hot. Oh, I feel like my shirt is sticking to me.
Don't even talk to me about hot.
Hi. Anesthesiology. Hi. Reese.
Reese has been a consultant at St George's for the past 3 years.
Hey, have we got a Welshie in the house?
Yeah?
Yay, Team Wales. I grew up in South Wales, roundabout in the Vale of Glamorgan. Being an only child, my school was a really happy place. You just feel like, you know, you're all in it together and you're just all sort of supporting each other as friends. You've walked 10K? I don't have time to go to the gym, so I'm just going to walk around the hospital until my bleep goes off.
I've given up my gym membership.
My career has brought me to London, so I've had to leave some of my close friends back in Wales where I trained. But we're lucky we're a big group of consultants, and quite often, you know, you'll sit after a shift and just discuss, did I do the right thing? You know, would you have done something maybe differently? Just to share that responsibility of big and potentially life-changing decisions. We should fist bump now.
Hello, St George's. Sure, go ahead. Yep. $15. 5. Echo mic. Thanks, bye. Priority call, 5 minutes.
A 13-year-old boy is being rushed to St George's after crashing his bike into a parked car whilst playing with a friend. He's sustained injuries to his face and head.
Yeah, let's think about some paracetamol and morphine. When the phone goes and you hear that it is a pediatric call, like, I want to know what the details are, whether this is a significant injury or not. If a child comes in with a significant head injury, what I'm worried about is any internal bleeding. Then we're worried about fractures in the facial bones. Cool, if you could all put an apron on top of your legs.
His mum arrived at the scene of the accident and followed the ambulance to St George's.
I was sat in the back garden having lunch. The umbrella was up, the sun was shining, and Tom was out with friends on a bike ride. My phone went, and I thought, OK, who's that? Picked the phone up, and it was Tom's friend Ollie. And I immediately thought, what's wrong? Something's happened. Why is Ollie ringing me? He said, Tom's had an accident, and I could hear him in the background, and that was, yeah, not a nice noise. He was clearly distressed. So when I got to where Tom had had his accident, he was on the ground. His whole side of his face had come up, big, red, enormous, and his face was completely distorted. And he had blood coming out of his nose and his mouth.
This is Tom, he's 13. Racing his friend down the hill on their push bike. Wasn't looking where he was going. He's hit a stationary vehicle. Cannot remember anything. Blood swelling, lost chipped and lost tooth in the face. Was complaining of groin pains. Had 1 gram of paracetamol.
Lovely. What's his name?
Tom.
Tom. And where's Mum? Hi, Mum. Come with me. I'm Reese, one of the A&E consultants. Why don't you go up and be next to him so that you can see your face? Do you mind taking his head? Is that all right? Thank you. Do you want to do a primary survey, please?
Oh, just keep your head still, Tom. It's all right, don't worry. We'll let you know if we want you to move. So swelling to the right side of the face, and there's some dental damage front right side as well.
In children with a significant head injury, we need to get our assessment done as quickly as possible, because if there is any evidence of internal bleeding, then we need to treat that as soon as we can, really. And that's why we always activate a trauma call response to these children, because we need to be able to make a really rapid assessment to make sure that we don't miss any of these injuries.
Can you feel me touching your legs here? Where's it hurting? In your groin, OK, all right.
He was clearly concussed. He didn't quite know what was going on. And at that stage, I wasn't quite sure what we were dealing with.
Well, I'm going to take the collar off so I can feel around the back of your neck. Yeah. OK, so...
Where does it hurt there? Here.
Yeah. He's got a subconjunctival hemorrhage.
Has he? So we'll see to his face as well, then?
Yeah.
Doctors are concerned that the impact to Tom's skull may have caused a bleed on his brain. They'll need to scan him immediately to determine whether he's suffered any life-changing injuries.
His facial bones need CTing because he's got subconjunctival hemorrhage and he's got a big I think he's got a maxillary bone fracture. So we'll do his orbits and then we'll do his head because of the amnesia and the mechanism. Can we start taking him round, Danny? And it's just they're holding the scan for us.
I was worried about brain injury because it was such a huge swelling. And I was just thinking, right, I hope he's all right.
You could come in a sec, Mum.
Thanks.
Okay, this is Tom.
Hi, Tom. Tom, we're just going to take some pictures of your head and your face, OK?
13-year-old Tom arrived at St George's after crashing his bike into a parked car. He's been brought to CT so doctors can assess the severity of his injuries.
Ready, steady, slide. Perfect.
Are you happy to wait outside just for 2 minutes?
Thanks. Just take a seat. We'll be 2 minutes, Mum. There's some just chairs there.
That's it. You keep nice and still. We'll be back in a minute, all right?
Family was always part of the plan. I met my husband at university through a mutual friend. We got married in our late 20s. I think he might have stopped at 2, but I was one of 3, so 3 seemed like the right kind of number. I remember being pregnant with Tom. I had horrendous morning sickness from about 5 weeks that lasted to about 35 weeks, which is when I had him. His entrance into the world was dramatic. The day he was born, I had a massive, torrential, huge bleed. I don't remember the moment he was born because I had a general anaesthetic and a crash section. I was out of it. There's no time to put in an epidural and fiddle around. It really is get the baby out now.
He's got a big bruise on his right side of his chin. He's got some amnesia of the event, no loss of consciousness. Contusions over the left side of his groin and testicle. Can you do mandible, please?
Tom was gorgeous. He was small to start with, but grew quite quickly. There was that, precious first baby, and particularly because he arrived in a hurry and all in a bit of a dramatic way. He talked really early. Said his first word when he was about 11 months old. It was sock.
There's this little streak in there.
Yeah.
By the time he was 2, he was speaking in full-length sentences, and you could have a conversation with him. He sat quietly by a bookcase and read books and chatted. It's wonderful, wonderful, perfect baby.
Doctors will await the results of the CT scan to see whether the impact has caused a bleed inside Tom's brain.
It is getting hotter and hotter now. I'm starting to smell.
Would you rather have 3 eyebrows, so a third one up here, okay, or have a third armpit in the middle of your chest?
Oh, that's gross.
Oh, I don't know. I think I'd rather the third armpit.
Someone's written a face on his leg, look. It's a pair of lips. I thought it was a wound.
You getting McDonald's breakfast? You getting, you're getting double egg with muffin.
26-year-old Andy has come to A&E after injuring his knee during a game of frisbee.
Get the hash browns as well, man. Get the hash browns as well.
His friend Sam, who was with him at the time, is on his way to St George's.
Well, how long are you gonna be? Right, so. A little bit of fresh air. Where is Sam? There he is.
Bagel or muffin?
Both. Right, hash brown in it.
Go on, stand up and get it.
Please, no, that's Thank you.
We met in reception when I was 4. We were quite heavily imaginative kids where we'd build dens.
The music's so loud.
And just always playing characters and things like that.
Patrolling, trying to catch me riding there.
I was quite a naughty kid at school, but Andy wasn't. He's not really naughty. He likes joking about, but he's not. So we didn't get into too much trouble.
Patrolling and trying to catch me riding there.
I remember going to see Sam at his house for playtimes, and we'd just start laughing and smiling before we even got to the door.
Oh, my God.
Don't fucking touch it. It's hurting more and more. I think it might because I've been sobering up more and more. I'm gonna get a selfie of me and my foot. It's just me and my big leg. We go to the hospital. We're hanging out.
We are a bit more like a double act, I guess. We tend to stick together quite a lot. He can get pretty hyper and it sort of spurs me on, and then we can, get pretty carried away, I think.
Do you ever have a best friend and you wonder why they're your best friend? Stop it! No, literally. Literally, Pan, stop it.
I know how to sort of make him laugh, and he's got a very sort of stupid sense of humour, like, not very refined, just very sort of idiotic.
Oh, God. Yeah, well, I'm tired. Oh, see if we can get some blankets.
I can't get blankets.
You don't reckon?
I don't know how I would have survived a lot of the situations in my life without Sam.
Selfie.
13-year-old Tom has severe facial injuries after crashing his bike into a car. The initial results of his CT scan reveal no damage to his brain, but doctors are still concerned that the force of the impact may have caused internal injuries.
Hi, it's Reece, A&E consultant. He's just got a really massive hematoma to the right side of his face, so extending all over the cheek up to the eye. He's got a subconjunctival hemorrhage as well on the lateral aspect of the eye, but normal eye movements. If you see the size of it.
Are those tears of pain or tears of upset? But you know what? It's all going to get better. Tom is just somebody who grabs life by the horns. He throws himself into things and then he'll fall over and hurt himself. He's very competitive. He wants to do his best and he wants to get the best out of things, and he will push himself.
What happened?
What happened? You hit a parked car, darling.
How?
How? I think maybe you just for a moment weren't looking where you were going. Your bike is a write-off.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, it was a bit stupid. You've got a really good friend in Ollie Watkins, haven't you?
Did he call an ambulance?
And me.
How did he know your number?
Well, because you use his phone to call me so many times. So he's probably very sensibly saved it. I'm a kidney specialist in my other life when I'm not being mum. My dad was a paediatrician. He always said to me, don't be a doctor, go and be a dentist. It's much more career-friendly for women. But I wanted to do medicine when I was very small. I stuck with that idea.
I'm going to give you some pain relief, Tom. Okay. Are you Tom or Thomas?
Tom, please.
Tom, okay. Thomas, when you're in trouble?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're not in trouble today, then we'll definitely call you Tom.
Half of me is rational and calm because that's what I've been trained to do. But actually, I'm still his mummy and he's still my baby boy. And there's that kind of mix of distress that my little boy is there with his smashed up face and his broken teeth. Don't worry, honestly. Don't worry, you're in the right place.
Tom will now wait to be seen by specialist surgeons to decide whether or not he'll require emergency surgery to relieve the swelling in his face.
Oh, John loves that film, Beaches.
Oh, yeah, Bette Midler one.
Yeah.
I love her singing.
That's what we're having at his funeral.
Oh, right.
And you haven't booked your funeral, have you?
No.
No, I'm at the co-op. On the way in, I want meatloaf, bat out of hell. I said, and on the way out, the dance of the mods. You know the mods?
Yeah.
Don't know. Can you see anything of those photos?
I can see a bed and I can see people in it.
This is Clemmy, our young one.
There's no point in showing me pictures
No.
now, I can't see it.
No, I don't know. I'm trying to work out how bad your sight is. That's the thing.
50-year-old Jason has come to A&E with his best friend Matthew after suffering from blurred vision for the past 2 days.
What games are you playing at the moment?
Stuff you play on the PC.
Which ones?
One's called World of Warcraft. I play the Star Wars one.
So you're not playing Candy Crush, then?
Good God, no.
I'm on level 438.
I've known him since I was 13 years old, and we were at boarding school.
It was a small boarding school in Henley that specialised in dyslexics, kids that failed common entrance. It was a boys-only school at the time. Jason was in Welsh House up at the top of the school, and I was in the main building, Skipworth. Who was it you liked that they had at the Oxford Union debate the other day? Nice show. Where'd you get that from?
Well, I bought it.
Where from?
Marks and Spencer.
Jesus, they don't do nice shirts like that for me.
Marks and Spencer, non-iron.
Yeah, I suspect, but if you need extra length, you don't get those good shirts.
Mostly got to know each other, sharing homework and figuring out stuff in lessons.
He was useless at maths, I was good at maths. He was much better on the Englishes than I was. We also got involved in the Film Society, and I was a projectionist, and Jason was on the door.
There was a play once, A Christmas Carol, and they decided they wanted a bit of comic relief and got us to be Farmer and his wife. So I was the henpecked farmer and he was the wife. So, you know, we come on our cue and get a big laugh.
Mike, we're at St George's Tooting. OK.
Matthew, come over here again. I'd had a bad time with bullying at my previous school. He had managed to keep people away from him by being a tall person and being rude to people. So I was quite often apologising for him or just trying to keep people from beating him up. We stuck together, basically.
Oh, well. Anyway. What else do I do with my iPad?
Mr. Andrew Laurie, please.
26-year-old Andy has a swollen knee after twisting his leg during a game of frisbee.
God bless you.
Who did all this? Bless.
I know, that's so embarrassing.
It's not. It looks nice.
I mean, no, it doesn't. I wanted sympathy, and they drew on it and put lipstick on it.
And that's what friends are for, isn't it?
Can you prescribe me with better friends?
You've got best friends, I would say. My name is Shabana.
Hello, my name's Andrew.
I'm
Nice
one
to
of the
meet
nurse
you.
practitioners. Nice to meet you too.
How are you? How's your night been?
It's been good. Tell me about yourself.
Oh, well, it's my friend Ollie's 26th birthday party. We had a barbecue in a park, and we were playing ultimate frisbee.
Yeah?
And my friend tackled me.
Okay.
Not naming any names, but that guy right there.
Did you fall directly on the knee or did you twist your knee?
I couldn't say. So I was drinking alcohol at the time.
And the swelling and bruising came up when?
A couple of hours, really.
Couple of hours. Okay. What we'll have to do is we'll definitely have to x-ray this knee first. Any numbness, pins and needles in your leg?
Yes, it's very numb.
Can you lift this leg up in the air, straight up? No. Okay, and how much can you bend your knee?
Oh, I don't want to try that.
Pain there?
Not pain. It's like a spider.
When we were very young, Andy was always very happy.
Whoa. Like, I know you know what you're doing.
But I think his dad left when he was maybe 10, and after that, I think there was always a little hint of, even though he was generally still very happy and easygoing and relaxed, there was a little hint of sadness.
Right. You have any medical problems otherwise? Any medication you take regularly?
Citripalum.
Okay,
For
and what's that for?
For anxiety and depression.
I remember, obviously, when I was 16 and I had first a few times of just not getting out of bed and just all these horrible questions and all this critiquing of yourself. Without anybody explaining to you, obviously, what's happening to you, you just sort of get on with it.
What do you do for work?
I'm unemployed at the moment.
Okay.
It wasn't as much of a problem at university. It wasn't until I left and started going into full-time work where I found I wasn't able to just be myself. On days where I was feeling down, that's when I found depression became a bit unmanageable for me.
That's humongous. I really can't be asked to it.
I didn't want to go and get help from it because it wasn't something you go and get help for. But at the time I had responsibilities. I was living by myself as well. I couldn't afford to let depression affect my life in the way it was, so that's when I went to see my GP.
The thing is, my knee's gone into a whole different shape. It's like, it's now pointing
It's
out.
almost kind of weird to think, like, where's the knee?
It comes and goes. You can sort of sense and feel things creeping up on you. I've always thought it's been like falling down a black hole which is right in front of you. But when you do fall into it, you feel like a failure for falling down it again.
All right. Would you like to come and take your seat back on the chair, or you're comfortable on a bed?
I'm going to go in the chair. I don't like being in the bed.
Careful. That's it, well done.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, how you doing? Hey, bless you.
I'll see you after the X-ray, yeah?
Yeah. Am I going to see you again? Because you're very.
Yeah, I'm going to come back to you after the X-ray.
Good.
When you are feeling a little bit low, it's good to go and see Sam because he'll just make you laugh.
You thought it was funny, right?
It was funny at the time.
It was funny.
And remind you not to take everything so seriously, you know.
You see me rolling, they hate it.
Do you have any medical problems at all?
No, this is my very first time in my whole life in a hospital as a patient.
Right, welcome.
No.
Hello, so tell me about what's happened.
Well, I woke up from a nap and suddenly my eyesight is blurry in the middle, and it was there. I can't tell you if it came on suddenly.
50-year-old Jason has come to St George's after suffering problems with his vision.
Right, so I'm just going to check your reflexes.
Okay.
Jason started working at his father's office, which was based in Oxford Street. And, you know, we saw each other and we did a few things together.
Be right back.
Sure.
Saw the new Jurassic Park film.
Yeah, very good.
You thought it was good, did you?
Oh, they're brilliant.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it went on for far too long. His parents were very good at inviting me over for a weekend or something. And I got to know his family quite well.
Dinosaurs are going to escape. People are going to get eaten.
Jason, if I remember correctly, I don't know of any films you've walked out saying they're rubbish. You always had a thing about saying every film was good.
I don't. I have seen some rubbish.
I've always thought you'd make a really good film critic reviewer for the cinemas.
I mean, he stayed weekends with me and my parents, and I stayed a few weekends here and there.
Name me the 3 worst films you've seen.
Home Alone.
Home Alone. Oh, that sums it up.
I went to see the Mad Max movie.
You went to see it? Any good?
Yes.
I suppose it's a test of your friendship when a tragedy occurs. It was the summer holidays, and I saw a news item on the television. And I remember thinking, I recognise that house. And then I picked up a copy of the newspaper. And I can remember reading the newspaper, and 2 of the names of the dead were Jason's parents.
When I was 21, my parents were killed. I don't really remember much else about that day, except eventually going home and seeing my sister and hiding from people. Matthew obviously heard and came round to see how I was doing. And just wanted to be there.
There's not much else to it. I mean, just befriending him, talk to him. But, you know, you either run a mile or you're there. And that's it, you know. For what good it was, I was there.
We just sat there, really, and that was enough. I mean, we talked a bit about other things, but... and it was just nice to be supported.
I've spoken to the ophthalmologist on the phone, so the eye specialist, and they would like to see you so they can have a more thorough examination of your eyes. Okay. You can go and get something to eat and then come by to their Duke Elder ward.
I'll take him now.
It's sad that I never got to know them as an adult. When it's sudden like that, it's quite difficult to deal with. No problem.
Here you are, Sunbeam.
Lovely. Thank you.
Right, go on.
Right, now the question is...
Go on, let's find
where
a way
will we
out.
go from here?
Don't worry, I'll show you.
My face really hurts. Your face hurts? Yeah, well, you've just that strong painkiller you've had. Just takes a minute to kick in. You've just had it through that cannula in your arm. Put your head down. Go wiggling around.
Specialist doctors have been called to assess Tom's stomach and groin, which took much of the force of the collision when his bike crashed into a parked car.
I'd like you to have a little look at his groin, if that's okay. And then it's probably going to be max facts. If you have any injury to the abdominal area, you can injure the pelvic bone, which is, a significant injury. But if a handlebar goes into your abdominal wall, it can injure the small bowel or organs such as the liver or the spleen. And those can be really serious injuries.
Hi. Hi, I'm another doctor, I'm afraid. I need to look at your tummy, because I think your handlebars probably hit you in your lower tummy. You tell me if your tummy hurts, okay? Is that all right?
Yeah. Tom is definitely quite an open boy. We've always got on well and had a good bond. And I can tell if he's not happy about something, if something's bothering him. Working through those issues and difficulties is, it's part of being a mum, isn't it?
So, yeah.
Oh, bless you. Oh, a little cut.
Yeah, you've got a tiny, tiny cut.
My mum didn't work. We weren't overly close when I was growing up, but it wasn't until I had children that I really kind of appreciated what she had been through and what she had done. And I think had she still been around, we would have had a closer relationship now than we did growing up. But unfortunately, she got Parkinson's disease when she was in her early 40s. I was expecting Tom when Mum was admitted to hospital the last time. She got to see the scan pictures and that really upset her. She just turned her face away. And I think she knew then that she wasn't going to meet him. I was about, I guess, 6 months pregnant when she died. That was really tough.
Any pain here?
No.
Any pain here?
No. Yeah.
Bit there, huh?
Having Tom there was a distraction from what I was doing, even though he was still babe in arms and in one of those bouncy chair things. I think probably the loss did make me territorial with him, a bit like some lioness with her cub or something. Come and have a look, but I'll growl if you get too close.
It's like he didn't quite hit you where it counts, okay?
Few.
Grandchildren are still in the office.
Good. Hey.
So
Hi,
we're
baby.
gonna probably need to watch you overnight if nothing else.
I'm not meant to go home. I don't think so just yet, love.
We need some scans.
What's waiting at home for you? In a minute.
You got somewhere you need to be?
Hey. You're not playing cricket tomorrow, that's for sure. Okay? Don't worry, darling.
So we're going to x-ray his wrist, Mum, now, and then send him round to Peds, and then we'll have a look at him there.
Doctors are still concerned that Tom's facial injuries may have caused underlying damage, and he'll be taken to paediatric A&E for further observation.
So this is your finger.
Is it that tiny dot there?
It is that tiny, tiny dot there, and that is exactly where you've got that nasty bruise.
Can you believe that
Wow.
I'm pretty impressed you saw that.
Quite amazing.
Maybe you should consider a career in radiology. Think about it.
What work do you do?
I'm a university professor.
In what subject?
History.
I never took history.
Well, that's a shame.
It is. My father said there's no future in history.
No, it's history.
Hey, I've just finished a level on Candy Crush. Amazing.
Jason has been referred to an eye specialist after suffering blurred vision at home.
What a hoot.
For which I apologise.
Don't worry, this is what it's about. You know, when you have an emergency, which is what you've got, you know, it's about being there to help.
I've always managed to remain single. I guess I sort of somehow picked up a bit of a solitary lifestyle. So it's always nice to have friends you can go out with as and when. Being friends with Matthew has really helped in that way.
And I took the children to go and see Roald Dahl's Matilda, which is very good.
Wow.
Had some very good music in it. When your eyesight comes back, we'll go off and see something like that.
Yes. He's not the easiest person in the world to get to know, but when you get to know him, he's the most loyal friend you're gonna ever have. They like the songs in Frozen?
Good God, yes.
You have family and you have friends. You can't do anything about your family, but you can choose your friends.
Let it go,
Let it go. Or something.
You know, they love that one.
And Jason, I know that if I can call on him to do something, he'll do it.
Do you remember when Rocky was the first of a film that made it to 3?
Yeah. You know they're doing another Rocky. But it's not about him.
Yeah.
So it's called Creed.
I remember his sister got married and I was the only guest that was allowed to come with Jason. I was very honoured at that.
Would you like to try some aero? They've made it look like boobies.
I think in all likelihood, I think we'll probably be friends the rest of our lives. At least I hope we will.
How are you doing, Tom?
13-year-old Tom has been brought to paediatric A&E, whilst doctors await the results of his X-ray.
But I just want to have a little look at this swelling, so I'm just going to have a little feel of it. Is that all right? How much pain are you in? What's that magic number now? Just around there. So I've got some good news for you. You haven't broken any bones in your face. And your wrist X-ray was normal as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, did someone tell you? No, you just worked it out.
It was probably.
Okay, you made your own decision that you thought it was okay, yeah? You're gonna make a doctor out of you then when you grow up? Or a professional cyclist?
I used to work full-time, I worked part-time because fairly quickly I realised that I wasn't seeing my family.
I've got a feeling he'll stay with us tonight. Thank you.
Thanks very much. It's good, isn't it? I think I've got quite close bonds with all of them for very different reasons. You have to let them kind of grow up and develop and take their own risks. Move nice and warm. There's a lot on the news that makes you think our children aren't safe if they leave the front door, but I think you do have to develop the skills that allow you to get out there and understand life. So get out there, enjoy it, discover new things.
Tom will be kept in overnight, whilst doctors monitor his facial injuries for signs of any further complications.
I want to go see things that are going on. I hate not seeing shit. Stop it.
Andy and his friend Sam are awaiting the results of an X-ray of his knee after he fell and twisted it during a game of frisbee.
I have got a 26-year-old gentleman. His knee is significantly swollen. We cannot see any obvious fractures.
They're really friendly here, like in the X-ray room. The guy was sick. He was chilling with the beats and that.
All right, my dear, I've spoken to the orthopedic doctors.
Okay.
There is a bit of fluid and blood in the joint. Okay, the problem could be there is a tiny, tiny fracture, which we can't see because of the amount of swelling you have. For now, we'll put your knee in a splint. We'll give you a couple of crutches. No more smoking, no more drinking. All right?
Okay. Thank you, by the way.
No drinking and smoking for you.
As soon as he said there's no drinking and smoking, I was like, it's the last thing I want to do. I just want to chill out and play Risk and watch Independence Day.
Andy, considering the things he's gone through, has done pretty well. He went to uni a year after me, I think when he was 19. And since then, he's always just worked, really putting in a lot of hours, and he's done very well. Yeah, I think he should probably remember that sometimes.
What were you playing, by the way?
Ultimate Frisbee? We had one of those Frisbees, which is like competition weight, so it glides perfectly through the air. It was all in the name of fun, though.
Of course.
When I was about 16, 17, I was having some issues at home.
Just stand, please.
Yes.
It was Christmas Day when Andy called me. He was on his own. He really fell out with his mum. They'd had an argument.
Are you working all night tonight?
No.
Got some time off soon.
She said you could just go. And he was just walking around for hours and decided to call me. Pretty much burst into tears as soon as he spoke to me.
I originally had to quit my job through stress.
What did you do?
Recruitment.
I wouldn't have thought that stressful.
No, not compared to working here, I guess.
I remember my mum like unwrapping my presents and taking the labels off and sticking his name on and stuff. He just stayed with us for quite a while after that, maybe a year, I think.
Okay, would you like to put your shoes on, or are you going to take him on the
Sam, do you reckon you can put my shoes on for me?
Yeah, go on then.
Cheers, bro. Appreciate this.
I mean, it was everything, really, at the time. It brought some stability back to my life, which was important. Without him, I really don't know what I would do. He really is like one of the best things that's ever happened to me in my life.
That's it.
And go through the crutch.
Perfect.
Are you okay?
I'll just get used to it.
I've always needed to project some love out, and it's always been so good to know that I've always got Sam to be loved by.
A few days afterwards, he posted a very nice little comment, which appeared on my Facebook page, where he told his circle of friends that when he last had a serious incident, which was his parents dying, it was me who was by his side. And he's saying it was me again when we were at St. George's.
I wanted to say thank you, and I mean, I just wanted to write something that conveyed my feeling at the time and let people know what a good friend I thought he was.
was a bit surreal because he obviously had had quite a nasty accident, and at that stage I wasn't quite sure how poorly he was and how long we were going to be in. I mean, it did shake me up. Almost as soon as he was out of hospital, he was, when can I have a new bike? And Granny very kindly said she would buy him a new bike for an early birthday present.
As soon as I got back on my bike, I fell off and I sprained my wrist, but it wasn't anything too bad. I did tell my mum about it, but I wasn't too sure what my dad would think, so I told him I just fell over at the park.
Sometimes things are on a need-to-know basis, aren't they? He might need me to keep things quiet a few more times in his life, knowing Tom.
Sometimes she's just like a mum, sometimes she can be a bit more of like a mate. Yeah, my mum's pretty cool.